What's happening, guys? Gym Leader Sean coming at you all with my future hand deck build list. So yeah, this is one of our videos for our Road to Stockholm video series. This is one of the decks I'm considering playing, and I'm going to share my deck list with you guys. I played it on stream yesterday, thoroughly enjoyed it. Made a couple of changes to a couple of the EUIC lists that I've seen. I obviously mentioned in the video yesterday that I wanted to start off the Road to Stockholm series with Future Hands, as it was the deck that knocked me out of EUIC. So yeah, without further ado, when we're playing this deck, guys, we want to try and go second if we can, so we can get our first attack off, peak acceleration, and obviously we want to start Miraidon. Now, obviously, this is a dragon type as well, so for some of you who feel like you can electric generate onto this, you can't. It's a dragon type. Now, it's no longer electric. So yeah, so we play 2 copies of Miraidon for the peak acceleration, which not only accelerates energy, guys, but if we have a couple of Iron Crowns in play, we can also take early knockouts in the first turn, which is fantastic. It's what we want. To pair up with Miraidon then, we play 4 copies of Iron Crown. Every Iron Crown that we have on our bench or even in the active increases the attack of all future Pokemon by 20x of Iron Crowns. So if we have 3 Iron Crowns on the bench, Miraidon's hitting for 100 damage for peak acceleration. We put a future capsule on Miraidon so we can treat for free, and we're hitting for 120 and then accelerating 2 energy. That is priceless, guys. Absolutely fantastic. Now, obviously, the main heavy hitter of the deck is the bad boy himself, Iron Hands EX. We play 3 copies of Iron Hands EX for the amp you very much. However, if we're hitting something big like a Charizard or a Tina, there's nothing wrong with using arm press, especially when we're getting powered up by Iron Crown. Having a Heavy Baton on the Iron Hands EX, gets knocked out, transfer the lightning energy, onto our next Iron Hands EX, and then amp you very much, and we take 3 prizes. So yeah, always make sure that we have a Heavy Baton on our first Iron Hands. The second one, after the first one's probably getting knocked out, you can put a Future Capsule on. It does help to have the extra 20 damage. We then play 1 copy of the Christmas Penguin himself, Iron Bundle, for that Hyper Blower ability. We also play Mew EX, not only for its restart ability, but we also play this, guys, for the genome hacking. If our Iron Hands is knocked out and then we want to obviously attack using our opponent's, one of our active opponent's attacks, we can hit them back with Mew EX, so we can knock out Charizard, we can knock out Tina. It's all good, guys. All right, Mew comes in for more ways than just restart. Do not rule out using genome hacking. It's absolutely fantastic in this deck. Starting off with then, our primary supporter card for the deck has to be 4 copies of Arven. Play 4 copies of Arven, guys, so we can find our Techno Radars, our Electric Generators, and of course our tool cards, Future Capsule and the Heavy Baton, so we can pass on the energy. We play Gust ability-wise. We play 2 Boss's Orders, and we also play 1 copy of Erika's Invitation. I've noticed that Erika's Invitation could be really good in this deck, especially because not only do we get to see what our opponent has in their hand for their next turn, but we also get to take a basic Pokemon out of the hand onto the bench. If we do that, we move it into the active, and then we knock out with Iron Hands for an extra prize as well. So Erika's Invitation, really, really good card in this deck. Search-wise, we play 3 copies of Professor's Research and 2 copies of Iono. Pretty standard setup, guys, when it comes to supporters. Pretty self-explanatory as well. If we have a bad hand, we research it. If we're falling behind, we Iono our hand, get a new hand, limit the cards in our opponent's hand. So all good there. Pokemon search then, we use 4 Techno Radars, and we're using 1 Nest Ball. Obviously, we use the Nest Ball so we can find the Mew, and we use the Techno Radars for all of our future Pokemon, which is great. To accelerate our lightning energy into play, we play 4 copies of Electric Generator. I would not leave home without 4 copies of Electric Generator in this deck. It is absolutely crucial for accelerating the energy, and when you match that with peak acceleration, guys, it just comes in clutch, guys. Comes in clutch. So, yeah. And then we play 1 Switch Cart, just in case one of our future Pokemon don't have a Future Capsule on, or has a little bit of damage, we need to retreat it from the active into the bench, push something new forward, whether we want to accelerate energy with Miraidon, or we have an Iron Crown stuck in the active because it's been bossed up. Switch Cart it back out, Iron Hands forward, take the knockout. So yeah, 1 copy of Switch Cart. Now, 3 cards that I've added into this deck that I haven't seen in other lists, or a lot of other lists, are Super Rod, Lost Vacuum, and Pokégear. So we play a copy of Pokégear so we can find our supporter for turn. This, obviously, guys, I mean, we are running a lot of supporters. So Pokégear is going to hit if we use it. Fingers crossed. I've probably jinxed everyone now. But if we don't have Arven on our first turn and we can Pokégear for it, absolutely fantastic, and we hit it, that's what we want, guys. That's why Pokégear is in. Lost Vacuum is obviously in the deck for getting rid of maximum belts, so Charizards can't knock out our Iron Hands in the early game, but also Hero's Cape, so it doesn't take us 2 attacks to knock out certain Pokemon. But also for the mirror, guys, we need to get rid of the Heavy Batons on the opposing future hands decks that we play against. The Super Rod is for, obviously, our late game, so if we have accelerated energy throughout the game and we find that our resources are running low, we can obviously use Super Rod, put a couple of energy back into the deck, and then obviously we can use peak acceleration again. We can use our electric generators again. A lot of people that I spoke to at EUIC who did play Future Hand said that towards the late game, running out of energy was a bit of a disaster, and they wish they put a Super Rod in. So I listened to what they had to say, and we have put a Super Rod in. Now, extra gust ability, obviously, we've got the 2 boss, and we've got the Erika's Invitation as well. Brilliant cards. Obviously, we have 2 exceptionally good cards to go with them that we can play in the same time as a normal supporter, and that is obviously Counter Catcher in case we're running behind, guys, and Prime Catcher, which is by far the #1 ace bet card you want to be using in this deck. Guys, this card will win you games. People have been saying it before, it used to be boss for game, it's now going to be Prime Catcher for game, and they couldn't be more right. When it comes to, obviously, our tools, we will be running 4 copies of Future Booster Capsule, and then we will also be having 2 copies of the Heavy Baton. Guys, self-explanatory, we all know why we're playing these. Obviously, Heavy Baton so we can push the energy from a knocked out future Pokemon, so from Iron Hands onto another Iron Hands, and then obviously we're running the Future Capsule, so we have 0 retreat cost and extra 20 damage. Energy then, guys, we are playing a lot of energy in this deck. 14 Lightning Energy, and then we are going to be running 2 Psychic. I'll just put one on top of the other just so it looks a bit prettier. But yeah, this is the deck list, guys. I hope you like it. If you do, please leave a like and a comment below. If you do want to play this on TCG Live, I have put this deck list in the description below. All you guys need to do is copy and paste it into TCG Live and you can play it. Guys, I hope you enjoy playing it. Have a lot of fun. I know I did, and we'll see you in the next one.